Bag, I want the bag. Work my way from a garden to a track. Flip it from a track to a plot full of acres. Do it for the farmers and producers and the makers. What we even here for? Occasionally I ask it. I know it's more than struggling, anticipating the casket. Reap what we sow, trying to fill up my basket. Life's a plantation, I self-law and master. Over the plot, I've been granted on this planet. Now it's slanted, cause the chosen been supplanted. But if you overstand it, it was spoken. Fractured, but we ain't broken. Even though some would rather play the role of token, we growing. Black through the essence of a presence. We carry the blood of gods, we carry the mind of peasants. Rich black gardens, future look more like Eden. Multiply seeds like the seed banks in Sweden. Rep my planners on plan according to season. B1 code. Switching it up is treason. Black power, family what we eat. Either we get fed or we feed. B1AG.
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Welcome Black to the Garden. This is B1AG, the Daily Bread Podcast. And I'm John Henry Harris. We have Farmer Brown, the MC. Now today we got something special to y'all. So go ahead and pull your chair up to the cafe. Here at B1AG, we talk about culture, agriculture, food, and environment. And we have a special treat for you, as Farmer Brown's going to be, he's broadcasting live from St. Martin's Community Victory Garden in Lexington, Kentucky. You know, today we're really going to show you the benefits of having a community garden. And also, you know, how you can maybe give some suggestions how you can do this in your area. So, Farmer Brown, what say you? Unmute yourself.
Can you?
Go ahead.
It keeps you muting me. First, I just like to say peace to the B1 family. Hope everybody's doing well. Out here getting an early morning workout at the St. Martin's Village Community Garden. Got a couple community partners putting in that work, prepping the bed. So a little bit about this project. It's a 3-year project. You know, at B1AG, we like to talk about solutions. Not focus so much on problems. So this specific garden out here, you know, this is what we would classify as a food desert. So it's about 300 units of houses on that side. And on the other side, it's a trailer park, about 100 units. And so one of the goals when we think about the concept of food deserts means you're in areas where there isn't a lot of healthy food available. So with this garden, like I said, it's a 3-year project. Get a little better view of it. It's a 3-year project partnering with, we got the blessing of the mayor at Fayette County government. Typically, you don't use public lands to do gardening, but we have like 130 parks in Fayette County. Here's my daughter right here. We have about 130 public parks in Fayette County. And so our basic goal was, with this 3-year project, can we justify to the city being able to make more use of these spaces? So once again, this isn't a profit garden. So everything going on with this garden, from the materials, from the mulch, the soil, fertilizer, people's time has been donated. When we have this conversation about food security, this is what it looks like. You know, obviously there is profit in food, but then the bigger profit is food security. And so if you pull up the slideshow real quick, I won't do too much talking, but I want the family to know that all of this is doable where you're at. So like I said, this is the Community Victory Garden. This is last year. And so this is a 3-year project. Go to the next slide. One of the things when you're building a garden, so first things first, you have to build trust with the community. A lot of times you have people that have great ideas. Hey, this will be great. You get it started and then it's left, and it puts a blight on the park. And so one thing is you want to map it out and have a plan. Not just a plan in your mind, but you want to map it out. And so this is one of my partners, Jeff, with Thelma's Garden. So we actually came out here, and this is what you're looking at right here, and measured. And so all of the beds you see at some point were just a print in the ground. We put down the landscape black plastic to kill the weeds under it, because that's where we ultimately were going to put the beds. We had to have this plan diagram laid out for the community to see, not just year one, not just starting it, but what does this look like in year two? You want to think about, what if it goes wrong? What if you don't have people to work it? What if the weather goes bad? And so you want to factor all of these things in wherever you're at, because community trust is number one. You go to the next slide. Community engagement. And so once again, it's one thing, hey, I got a great idea to do something in your community, but it's another getting the community involved. So what you see up here at the top, that's Mr. Marcus. He's not here right now, but the brother works at UPS. But I mean, he was getting straight off of work to come cut the boards. When we have this conversation about different types of currency, different types of skill sets. So Mr. Marcus, he's not a green thumb at all, but he understands carpentry. And so you see how beautifully laid out all of these beds are. And so this is the handiwork of community engagement. Some of the elders in the community, these are brick masons, people in construction. And so everybody was able to lend their particular skill set. Leave the gardening to the green thumbs, right? But as far as building, the structures of these beds are beautiful, long lasting. Go to the next slide. And lay the foundation. And so one of the deals that we had with the city, when you think about these parks, you don't want to disrupt the soil. Like I said, you have to think worst case scenario. So what we have under the soil or the mulch, you actually have some tarp. So the concept of the tarp is, hey, if things go wrong, the people that had the idea can come out here and easily move everything away like it never happened. Obviously, our goal is to follow through with this 3-year plan and ultimately expand. But you definitely want to lay your foundation first. You don't want to piecemeal it. You want to have your whole plan together before a single shovel hits the ground. And in this case, before the tarp hits the ground. Go to the next slide. So once again, you got to create the matrix. We think about Neo. So what these beds are, since we're not able to till the ground, we actually bring the soil in. So these are construction companies. We had a couple of community partners that donated soil. You can see right now. So what we're doing right here, we're filling in the beds from last year with some new soil. This is one of the parks that just got a walking trail. And so once again, we talk about leveraging resources and leveraging relationships. So we got this huge mound of soil just from the construction people doing the path. So once again, everything, there's different forms of currency. And we were talking about the material or live currency. Soil is obviously needed in the garden. It will be cost inefficient to go to another side of town to get soil. So why not use whatever you have available where you're at? If you can go to the next slide. Plant seeds. And so once again, obviously our concern is food security, but you never waste the opportunity to teach. And so one of the things when we think about engaging the community, you want to get kids involved. My kids are running around right now. She got them out of my hair for a second, but you want to get kids involved, not only obviously seeding the garden per se, but planting seeds in their mind. Some of these kids that have never been in the garden, they're able to come see this experience, seeing adults working together to build something that ultimately is going to serve the community. Last year, we had more than 75 families that came and harvested from this garden. Obviously, no, we didn't supply anybody's full year worth of produce, but like I said, it's a start. There were a lot of salads, a lot of meals harvested from this garden. And this is from mostly kids were the ones planting the seeds. The adults, a lot of the volunteers, we pretty much did the work of laying the foundation, as I said, but it was getting the kids out here to transplant and then plant seeds. And so once again, and that's my kids to the right. It was my pay was being able to for my kids to come out here and see this process. It's one thing to hear Dad talk about gardening all the time, but then it's another actually seeing it in motion and then seeing other people doing it. Humans, we're the type of people that we don't a lot of times we don't buy into anything until we see other people doing it. So one of the reasons we want to keep having this conversation is for people to see the gardening is normal. There's nothing lame. There's nothing weird about gardening. And it can actually be a great, not only fellowship experience, but it's great exercise. Right now, I can't tell you how cold it is because I'm warm, with kinetic energy. Go to the next slide. And maintain it. So once again, when we talk about relationships, and I ain't gonna be here too much longer, this is where relationships and partnerships are very important. So we have a relationship with Youth Advocacy Program of Fayette County, YAP, United Way of Fayette County, Community Action Council, St. Martin's Village Community Neighborhood Association, CIL Lexington, Community Inspired Lexington. When you think of Mobile Mission, University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension. And this is why we always tell y'all, find your extension office where you're at. And so I'm digressing a little bit, but a lot of the seedlings that we got for this garden came from the cooperative extension offices at Kentucky State University and University of Kentucky. Once again, pretty much everything in this garden has been a labor of love, in kind. Anytime you're doing projects like this, you'll hear that concept in kind, meaning, okay, there wasn't a dollar or currency exchange more so than time, because a person's time and effort is just as valuable as a piece of paper. I mean, you see what's going on with the BRICS nations right now. And so right now, a lot of value we have is in our hands. It's in our relationships. And so, so one of the things is maintaining. A lot of the gentlemen, it's a reentry program at Dismas House. This is a reentry program. A lot of men and women coming from incarceration are able to work their way back into the community. And one of the blessings and beautiful parts of this whole project has been how well, you not only do you get out for a little bit, but it's being able to give back. Having the joy of seeing people in the community, benefiting from your efforts. It's one thing you talk about something, but when you're able to actually put your prints in the mud and see people benefiting from it, it gives you a certain type of motivation. And so maintaining it, obviously, you're going to have to come out and water like 2 or 3 times a week. When it gets hot in the summer, obviously, you're going to want to water more. And this is where these relationships come in. So most people have jobs, families, and lives. And so, hey, maybe I'll take one day to come and water. One organization will volunteer another day. And so before you know it, 5 days have been accounted for. If you go to the next slide. And then reap the harvest. Like I said, there's nothing like putting in a hard day's work. It's dirty. People are getting dirty out here, but it's nothing like seeing the result of that hard work. It's nothing like a nice sweet potato, nothing like some tomatoes, nothing like the cucumbers, the okra, the beans that were grown out here. And more importantly is the relationship. You're reaping the harvest of building these relationships. In a worst case scenario, we like to be optimistic, but in the worst case scenario, say the lights go out. Say the phones don't work. What you've done is built relationships with people who hey, regardless if we can speak or not, we know that there's a common skill that we share in being able to prepare gardens such as this one to prepare food. Not just here in West End, but like I said, just in Fayette County alone, there's 130 public spaces. This is only a city of 300,000 people. And so our goal is, okay, if we can get buy-in for a small percentage of that, that increases food security. This can be applied wherever you're at where there is grass, wherever you're at where there is public space. Over there, you see a playground, soccer fields, but a small space like this can actually grow. You'd be surprised how much food can be grown in a small space like this. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, I got to get back to work. I'm doing a whole lot of talking right now. But so once again, we hope you're motivated. If you're interested in this slide, email us at b1aghiphop@gmail.com, and we'd be glad to continue this discussion. This is the time to start preparing, whether you're talking literally or metaphorically speaking. This is the time to prepare your beds. Because here in the next few weeks, once the frost goes away, that's when you start putting your seeds in the ground.
I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hey, reporting live from the garden. Live from the garden. There's so many benefits of having a community garden. You can improve your community health, expand nutritional awareness, bring communities closer together, actually reduce crime, and produce more fruits and vegetables for local food banks. And also, I
gotta say this, and let me cut you off real quick, bro. So one of the concerns from the community last year, and it's a success story, and so there has been graffiti at the community center, and some of the members of the community was wondering if some of the kids were going to come and disrupt the garden, come and do something or damage it. Not one incident. Because guess what? The so-called kids that you think are going to come and destroy, their parents are eating, right? And so there's a respect when they see that people are putting in work, working together, and it's a mutually beneficial project, not any vandalism. And actually, we were fortunate to have some of the kids from the community come and work in the garden. So once again, that's what I mean about relationships, mutually beneficial relationships where people stand to gain, not just so-called finance, not just food, but like I said, relationships, skills. Last week, I learned there was a gentleman out here from Youth Advocacy Program. I learned a few things about getting soil that's going to save my back some pain, that's going to save time. So everything is always a learning experience.
Absolutely. And then another benefit with that community garden, you have a space now where you can put comfortable seating, you can share meals there, have meetings, classes, all the artsy people go out there and perform, bring your audience in a nice environment to perform, or even just go out there to have a casual, great one-on-one intimate conversation. We got to get more personable, in this world today, everything's going more technology, and we're talking through screens. Let's talk face to face in nature. So Farmer Brown, at the end of the day, if you really, really want to know something, bro, what do the people need to do?
At the end of the day, if you really want to know something, many hands make light work. Learn how to grow something.
There it is. I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to B1AG Daily Bread Podcast. Welcome to the cafe. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we're going to take you out because we are pushing the algorithm. We're fighting against the algorithm and pushing this algorithm.
Pushing the black algorithm. Ancestors, they mastered the systems. We raising your bosses, no victims. Planting that knowledge curriculum. Blessing the boots with the nutrients. The darker the berry, like Nubian. Dropping receipts like I'm Julian. The streets with that food like Peruvian. Trapping the merch and the fruits and the veggies. CSA boxes, my package is heavy. Ship across town in the bed of my Chevy. Printing the mud, growing hard for that baby. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta scramble. Bet on black farmers and growers, no gamble. Reclaiming our pain cause the game is in shambles. Blessed with that melanin, carry the miracle. Mothers and fathers of civilization. Black to the garden with food cultivation. Building back better through black innovation. B1 community growing the nation. Genetically designed to be the dopest. Stoking that growth mindset. Codified, now we focus. Farming on back on track. Be the fam, break bread with them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm. Now watch me get them. Watch me get them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm. Be the fam, break bread with them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm. Watch me get them. Watch me get them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm.
There it is, y'all. Again, have a wonderful weekend. Thank y'all for checking in. And myself, John Henry Harris, Farmer Brown MC, would bid you adieu. Stay safe. Peace.